Hey everyone, it's Christine, the Mighty Murphin Fashion Ranger. Welcome to my channel if you are new, and welcome back if you are a current subscriber. You can click that little notification bell to get notified every time I upload a video. If you are new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe before you leave. You can also leave me a thumbs up or a comment below just so that I know that you enjoyed this video. This is going to be a pregnancy update video. This may be my last one. We will see. I'm currently, 37 weeks and 2 days. That has happened over the last month or so, because I did film one around 32 weeks, but I ended up not posting it because by the time I was posting it, I was like 36 weeks, and I was like, none of this makes sense anymore. But some of the things that I discussed in that video was that I got a cheap Amazon ring to wear on my finger because my hands have gotten, I guess, a tiny bit swollen, which is weird because now, like, my feet aren't nearly as swollen as they were, like, over the summer. I guess it was just the heat that made it worse. But lately I've noticed that they've been really good, not really swollen at all, but my wedding ring and engagement ring have been getting snug, and I'm too scared that they will have to cut it off. So I got this cheap, like, $10 Amazon ring. It has, like, it's like a rainbow and it spins, which is fun, because I figured if I'm going to pick a ring to wear, it may as well be fun and not boring. So what else has happened? Around 32 weeks, they told me that they thought the baby dropped because I started to be able to breathe better. I felt better walking. Like, everything, I just felt like I wasn't getting crushed in the lungs anymore. So the baby had moved down, and it seemed like his head was down. And then I had an ultrasound at like 34 weeks, I think it was, and he had moved back up and flipped around, and he was breech again. So not sure really what he's doing in there right now. I have another ultrasound scheduled for this coming Thursday, so just in about 4 days. So we'll see what that says. I know that that's really like when they really look for the baby being head down, so I'm not sure what the options are going to be if he's not head down. I don't know if they'll try to manually move him down or if they'll just leave it alone until I go into labor. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if I'm going to be induced or not. My blood pressure has been staying the same, even though it is slightly elevated. It hasn't risen anymore. I haven't had any protein in my urine or anything, so I don't have any actual signs of pre-eclampsia. But since my blood pressure has been a little bit elevated, oh, geez, sorry, he just moved a lot. Since my blood pressure has been a little bit elevated since I think it was either the end of the first trimester or the beginning of the second trimester. Sorry, the sun just started coming through the window and giving me weird spots on my face. But since it's been a little bit elevated since then, but it has stayed the same, my doctor has discussed inducing me between 38 and 39 weeks just to make sure that I don't develop preeclampsia. Even though I haven't had any signs of it, he just feels more comfortable if he would take the baby out then than if he would let me go to my due date, because he said he doesn't really want to, like, press our luck and have me develop it later because the baby's been in there too long. So it sounds like I might find that out at my appointment in a few days. I'm not sure if he's waiting until after he sees the ultrasound or if he's going to make the decision before that, because the appointment with him is a day before my ultrasound. So hopefully I'll find out this week. I had thought, actually, that maybe I was going into labor yesterday, but that did not happen. I'm a first-time mom, so this is all a new experience for me. And around like 5 p.m. last night, I was driving to my sister-in-law's house, and I started to get a painful contraction, which I have been having Braxton Hicks contractions since like mid second trimester. And I would say that those are mostly just uncomfortable and like kind of like a dull ache almost. It's not painful. This was painful. So I was like, holy crap, it's happening. Well, I had one, and then about 20 minutes later, I had a second one that was the same thing, like fairly painful. I wouldn't say it was awful. Like I wasn't doubled over in pain, but I was like, ooh, that really hurts, and I had to like kind of breathe through it. I had those, and then about an hour went by with nothing, and then I had a couple more, and then like 2 hours went by, and then I had a couple more. So I wasn't sure what was happening, and I know I had a lot of Braxton Hicks contractions the one day a couple weeks ago, and I drank a lot of water that day, and the next day I woke up and I didn't have anything after that. So I was like, well, maybe I'm just dehydrated. So I drank a bunch of water last night, made sure I was super hydrated, but then this morning when I woke up, I was still having the contractions off and on. And like I said, they're definitely different than the Braxton Hicks contractions, because I'm sure all of you are going to be like, oh, they're Braxton Hicks. These are painful though, and the Braxton Hicks has not been painful. And I've also just felt like it's almost like before you get your period, where like your back and your hip and abdomen area just feel really achy. I've had that since like Friday night, and then the painful contractions on top of it, even though they're not close together and there's not really a pattern yet or anything, I feel like maybe we're getting there. I don't know. I've been trying to do some research about it, and I've found some people that said this was how their labor started, like this was their early labor, and then some other people who said that they've had this and then they'll have nothing for days, and then they gave birth like 3 weeks later. So everybody's different. I don't really know what's going on. I've been timing them. I have an app on my phone that I've been putting in like when they're happening, so it keeps track of how long in between they are and then how long the actual contraction is. Today doesn't seem to be as bad as it was last night, but today I have noticed that it's not just my abdomen now that's contracting. It's like my abdomen and also around to like my lower back, which I've read that that's more like a real contraction because Braxton Hicks will just be in your abdomen. So I don't know what's going on. I really don't know. My doctor told me not to go to the hospital until they're regular contractions 4 minutes apart. I don't know. So if you have any suggestions for me, obviously drinking water hasn't really helped. It's kind of just been doing its own thing. I don't know. I'm at a loss. I mean, I would prefer to go into labor naturally rather than being induced, because I know that's supposed to be more painful, and then there's always like I think it's 40% of inductions like fail, and then most of the time you end up getting a C-section, which I would really prefer not to do. So I'm hoping that this means that I will go into labor soon and they won't have to induce me. He is getting very big in there. I don't think I talked about that. The last ultrasound I had, and like I said, I think it was around 34 weeks-ish, they said that his body was measuring, 34, 35 weeks, so it was pretty average. But his head was measuring 39 weeks? And that really freaked me out, because I was like, great. Now I have a big-headed baby that I might not be able to push out of my pelvis, so that's really comforting. Yeah, I don't know. I had my hospital bag packed with newborn stuff and 0 to 3 months, but from what they were telling me, because of his head and the rest of his body measuring a little bit ahead, I just figured, you know what? I'm switching to all 0 to 3 months, because at that ultrasound, he was like 6.5 pounds already. I know it's estimated and they can be off by like a pound or whatever, but still, I feel like that means he's going to be probably an 8 or 9 pound baby, at least. So I figured 0 to 3 months is probably a better bet that they will fit him, even if they're a little big. I'd rather have that than all of the newborn stuff being way too small. But I think that's pretty much it for this update. And like I said, this is probably my last one. I did take maternity pictures yesterday, but I'm planning on doing that as a whole separate video. I don't know when I'm posting this one in relation to the other ones that I shot today. I'm trying to pre-film some stuff so that you guys have things to watch while I am potentially in labor. I filmed a what's in my hospital bag, what's in the baby's hospital bag, and a couple of other things. So you will have plenty of things to watch if I happen to go into labor early. If not, these will still go up over the next couple weeks. But I think this is going to be my last pregnancy update. I do want to do a follow-up of the truth about plus-size pregnancy video because I'm sure that I will interact with some people when I go into labor that will probably not be as plus-size friendly as my current doctors. So, ooh, that was a big old burp. So that's going to be it for this video. Sorry if it was a little rambly. I feel very all over the place today. But that's it for this video, and I will see you guys next time.